Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
Step in the building. One of the things I want to say, brought to you by the Service. That's right. That's a small garbage company that was just like that R&B that can do great things for you.
Yes.
Change the name, but the service still stayed the same. That's right. That's why I'm still part of the team.
Right.
So go to my website, check us out, give us a call, and see what we can do to clean up your life. That's right.
Yeah, man.
And then when you got some mental stuff, that's when you tune in right here, where Bar Talk with Jay, and who I got sitting next to me, my man Craftmatic in the building. How you doing, big baby?
Man, I'm doing dandy, bro.
Dandy?
I'm dandy.
Okay.
You know, life is good,
Feeling
man.
super good there.
Life is good. Life is good, man. I don't really have no problems. I'm just
What?
focused on my future, you know?
I like that he ain't got no problem, man. I
Yeah,
be pushing
man.
problems all the time. Personality.
Nah, man, I got rid of
issues.
problems years ago.
I thought I did too.
I don't want any more of them. And
See-
I'm not gonna have any of them. You know?
Now
That's
you
just the
see
way
why
life
I
works
have
for
to
me.
turn to you.
Right.
You know how to eliminate things to make your life better.
Yeah.
I hold on to stuff I shouldn't be holding on to.
Okay, well, we can work on that,
Yeah, you
Smith.
see, that's what life's all about.
We can work on that.
Working on the plan, baby.
Absolutely.
Working on the
How you
plan.
doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm excelente.
I like to hear that.
That's right,
Excelente,
man.
huh?
Happy, man. My girls made it down from Ohio.
Yes.
Visiting me.
Yes.
Man, breath of fresh air. I mean, through all the transition of changing companies over and everything, just to be able to see your kids. You know, oh man, I'm a family guy.
Yeah.
So again, I'm a
Listen.
very happy moment.
Grandpa, right?
Did you have to rub that shit in? I don't know where that part had to come from, Craig.
Listen, family.
But yes,
Excuse me.
yes.
Family is important, you know, and man, it's got to be a joy to have all that family around. I'm an only child, you know,
Okay.
and I got 2 kids, and you know they haven't had kids yet, so I haven't gotten to the grandpa stage. I sometimes am hard on myself that I haven't done the father stage fully yet, but my heart's in the right place,
Okay.
you know. So some growth to do in those areas, but I love family, man, and
That's it.
I got a big, beautiful family too, man. Some of the best people you ever met. Let's start the show off tonight by introducing ourselves. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic, and this is my boy,
Smooth Jay.
Smooth Jay, and we are here to inspire dialogue. Dialogue opens your mind, it opens the opportunity for you to grow, and it gives you an opportunity to look into the mirror of our conversation and be able to see yourself. You know, what would you do the next time? What did you do last time? It gives you an opportunity for, ultimately what we are here for is self-assessment. Self-assessment is what we all have to do to continue to grow in this world, because if you continue to do what you've been doing, you're going to continue to get what you've been getting, and it's not going to make a difference in your greater overall future. Changing yourself changes your life. Changing yourself opens doors of opportunity and reaches more of your potential than anything you could possibly do. Reading a book, you know, working out harder, whatever those things are, we got to be on a grind in life, and that's what we represent during our talks here. So we always start the show off with a prayer, and I don't know if Jay, you want to take it over tonight?
Nah, man. No, we still trying to get on that Bar Talk with Jay. We still trying to cash out with it.
Okay,
But
okay.
I feel like you're making waves.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's just speak to the Lord. I'm going to the Lord on the subject and asking Him to come here. So, Heavenly Father, we humble ourselves tonight in Your presence and thanking You for Your grace and Your mercy in all our lives and all of our endeavors. We thank You for taking care of us and for opening doorways for us to continue to live and grow life. Sometimes we look over our shoulders, Father, and we can see the battle that we faced and the battle that we won, but sometimes we don't know how we won it. And we just want to give You all the glory tonight. We thank You for this show, and we ask that You would plant Your seed in our words and the inspiration of this show. Be here with us and guide us to a greater and greater show. We love You, and we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Man, that sounds like an Easter sermon.
Amen.
Lord, man.
Amen.
Yes, amen. Boy,
You can't even imagine what be going through my head sometimes.
Bro, I just
when I'm
heard it
doing
out your
prayer.
mouth.
Yeah, I promise you, there's like 3 things that could have came on each
Bro,
sentence.
you just don't understand.
But it's,
the power of 2 or more. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It came out of you now. I felt it.
Yeah, I love prayer, man. I love prayer. And what's so good about it, I don't even remember what I just said. I just opened the doorway of my consciousness
Okay,
to the Lord, you know?
Now I'm starting to think you're crazy.
Yeah, that's okay.
We was on the same page.
Crazy for the Lord, I
Okay.
promise you.
Woo!
Man, He's so good, He won't let you fall, you know?
Oh, okay.
So as we move on, let's talk about last week's topic.
Okay.
It was an outstanding topic.
I thought it was good.
Do men like sexually aggressive women?
Jay said yes.
Listen, mostly everybody said yes.
I don't know. I threw my hand up first.
Right? Even the men I asked and the women I asked, both in general said that they like aggressive women. Because see,
Now remember,
from a man's perspective, a woman can be a mystifying thing, you know, sometimes. And when she opens up and tells you what she wants and she expresses who she is, it makes it much easier for you to communicate with her. And so an aggressive woman is kind of a door opening, especially if she's opening herself to a specific man or we're not talking about someone who's just open to everybody, right? Okay. Which does happen, right?
Point them out, Greg.
I mean, listen, we're talking about sexual aggression.
Yes,
it may not be in singles, it may be in multiples. And you know my notion, past behavior equals future behavior. So if you was out, you might still be out.
But yeah, we sensed that with you there, Greg. You had a couple dealings with him because you kind of got a little bitterness there, buddy.
Yeah, but I gave it up though. You know what I'm saying? I gave up out.
Oh.
Many years ago.
Okay.
So, the notion was overall, yes. All right. But we don't like women too aggressive, right? We talked about women being aggressive in their dress and how they a lot of times will dress very provocative. They'll dress very sexually aggressive, showing parts of their body and shapes and curves, and when they do that, the men have a tendency to think that they're strong women like that, but they aren't really that strong women. That's makeup, right? That's a nice outfit, right? That's a nice body.
Is that MAC product they be talking about?
And so, men cannot forget that just because a woman looks extremely bold in her beauty doesn't necessarily mean that she's that bold in her spirit and in her consciousness. And that we have to recognize that even the most beautiful women in the world want you to come over and talk to them. Right? They really, if you come the right way, that they don't want to shun you. They want you to come over and talk to them. And a lot of men don't know that. That's part of the, challenge in getting men to grow.
You're telling
women,
secrets over there. Telling
I mean, the only thing is you got to go get what you want. You know what I mean? That's just how life works.
Well, you also got to build up confidence now. You ain't just tell them to run out there and they ain't got confidence. They ain't going to work out.
But listen, you can't grow confidence and then go do it. You have to go do it, and that'll give you the confidence. Just plan to go strike out 3 times.
So in other
I
words,
promise you'll come up.
Come up with a plan.
I promise you'll come up, right?
Don't just say you're going to do it, you ain't got no plan.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about in a marriage that aggressiveness can be good. It keeps the relationship stimulating. It keeps the relationship interesting, and it keeps the intensity of the relationship.
Sound like you just a freak.
No, man, I'm trying to tell you how it is, man. I mean, listen, when you make love to the same woman for 10, 20 years, you need some stimulus, right?
Okay.
But see, I'm kind of the notion, just sidebar, I'm kind of the notion that, like with my lady, right, like every time I touch her, it's brand new.
Cool.
You know what I mean? And we've been dating for, we've been together for a long time. We've known each other.
Long
time.
time.
The point is, though, but every time it's brand new. So even at 10 years or 20 years,
still brand new.
It's still brand new. You know what I mean?
So you renew yourself.
I renew myself through my touch.
In Lake Minnetonka.
In Lake Minnetonka. You stupid boy. You silly. Hey, listen, we got some folks just joined us here. Before we close out this segment, I want to go ahead and recognize some folks. Miss Latoya, thank you for being here. Monique and Teresa, Wanda. Let's see, we got Rodrika, Ernest, Mildred. Thank you all for being here with us tonight.
Yes.
Again, we're just trying to do something good for our world and for the community, and most importantly for you. We want you to take heed of this conversation because tonight we're going to talk about something very, very powerful. But in closing out sexually aggressive women, it was a great discussion. And we'd love for you to go back and take a look at it if you haven't. Sometimes it's just, sometimes people are watching YouTube videos all day long on this, that, and the other. Go back and put on a Bar Talk with Jay and heed some of that wisdom and some of that love and some of that inspiration that we're giving you.
Life.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It might take you 4 or 5 different segments throughout the day to finish it all. But it's good, powerful stuff. We're all over the internet, bartalkwithjay.com, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Spreaker.com, MeToo, Black Planet.
What?
What am I missing?
You want it, dog.
What am I missing, Jay?
You want it. Offer up. Craigslist.
Offer up and let go.
Back pages.
Hey, listen, we want to be where people are. And
That's
people
right.
are most certainly at Offer Up and Let Go.
Everywhere.
That's for sure.
You sell it, we there.
Yeah, check it out. Share us, like us, subscribe. Stay involved with us so we can continue to deliver this powerful programming just for you and for your minds and your soul. Hopefully you get something out of every single show.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and jump into our quote for the week. We got about 10 minutes before we go to break. And the quote for the week, man, Barbara could not be here tonight.
Oh yeah, Macon, Georgia, holding it down still for us.
Yeah, she always does a fantastic job, and she actually puts these quotes together for us. So I'm kind of at bay until I get the script for the week, but it is powerful, and it goes like this: no matter how careful you are, you will not, you will get caught up. All right. No matter how careful you are, you will get caught up. Most relationships do not die from natural causes. They are killed by selfishness, neglect, lack of consideration, lies, and secrets. And let me read that one more time, just real quick.
It sounds like you're trying to make a bullet point.
Yeah, there is a bullet point here to be made, right? No matter how careful you are, you will get caught up.
Right.
Most relationships do not die from natural causes. They are killed by selfishness, neglect, lack of consideration, lies, and secrets. And all of those things have a tendency to lend themselves to what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yes.
And that is arguments. We want to take some time to talk about arguments. Right?
And these are not debates now, these are arguments.
These are arguments because arguments happen when there's disagreements, right? And so we're going to talk about arguments tonight. Give me just a moment to dive into just a quick craft segment. Basically, Barbara put it like this. She wants me to explain the passage, Genesis 18:25. Will not the judge of all the earth do right? Will not the judge of all the earth do right? And that comment, that statement is a powerful statement. That it's a suggestive statement that no matter what's going on, God's always going to make it right. And in order to believe that, you got to stand on a God-centered, Christ-centered principle. You got to be able to stand on the mountaintop and say, I know that he has me. I know that he loves me. I know that whatever's going on, something good is going to come out of it. I know that I will not be hurt in the process. It's a spiritual mindset to say that I know that God is going to fix this, that God is not going to let me be forsaken. He's not going to leave me out here stranded. He's not going to let me be put to shame. He's not going to let me be done under. When you stand on a principle like that, which is really the word of God, because he always says that the righteous shall never be forsaken. The righteous shall never be forsaken. If you know you ain't did nothing wrong, then you just stand in that gap and put up with all the nonsense that you have to put up with. And what's going to happen is you're going to find out that the people who were persecuting you become your slaves. That's what the word say. The word said the Lord will make the enemy our footstool. You know what I'm saying? So nothing can come against us. Nothing. We can't be taken. That the good always wins. We have to understand that good always wins. Righteous always prevails. We have to keep in mind it is not the other way around, that bad is going to always overtake us and that misery and mistake and problem and challenge is always going to be chasing us and always going to win over our lives, and our lives are going to be won over for the next 10 years by these big problems and these big, no, we cannot think that our lives are doomed. We have to believe, and we have to trust, and we have to know that God is always going to make it right, and he's always going to prosper us. He's always going to deliver us. That's why we are saved, because he delivers us over and over and over again. And so I'll leave it at that. Just know that the fool always falls and the wise always wins. That's just the way life works.
I like your principles.
Okay.
I'm sitting back and I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Because you gotta remember how you perceive things. I always gotta look at it as a different way of giving it to you, because again, if everybody see it his way, then it's gonna be somebody else that don't get it.
Right.
I want to make sure everybody get it, because I feel what you're saying.
Right.
And again, I like to say, it's looking deep.
Yeah.
Because the problem is we act shallow, and that's the sad part.
Yeah.
So we got to go back deep. What you just gave them was something totally deep. I was like, into it. I was like, all right, crap.
Yeah.
Because you took them all the way there, and I just want to make sure they stay there, and I want to make sure they apply it the right way, though.
Absolutely.
Because everybody got to look at things in a different way.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But I appreciate what you just gave.
Yeah, when I talk about our belief system, and we got just 3 minutes here. When I talk about our belief system is our life. And so, for example, there are people who may have just heard what I shared with them, and you're not Christian, you don't follow Christ, you're not really into a religious practice, but you are very spiritual.
Oh, like Buddha?
Perhaps Buddha,
like
perhaps
Buddha.
any of them. They're all in their own degrees right, but I believe this is the most right, and so this is the one I follow. But this process that the Christ principle is, in essence, the law of mind. It is, in essence, the law of attraction, right? It's the law of attraction. You do good, you get good. You do bad, you get bad. And that's the way life works. You're not punished by someone or some world in particular. You're punished by the repercussions of your bad decisions and your bad thinking. And even bad thinking can hinder you in life, because it'll put a backwards driven escalator under your feet. And you'll be standing in the same place. You'll be like, yeah. So even wrong thought is just will harm you. So I say find a belief system that works for you, but my belief system is I know that I'm victorious in all of my life and in all of my ways. I have no concerns about the enemy, and I'm not frustrated by anything that he or she or it might do in my life. I am strong, and I am centered in the stronghold of God's power. And his power delivers me and propels me and loves me and nurtures me and protects me. And everything that I possibly need, I claim it, I state it. It is my truth. I prophesy it in the name of him who brought me here. Jesus it is. Amen. Amen. I didn't mean to do a prayer right there. It just kind of came out,
Yeah, we know this.
Yeah, I just
I
had
was
to.
in the back time, they chiming like the choir.
Yeah. See, sometimes when you can feel it in your heart, but it don't become real in your mind until you speak it. You can kind of feel that presence, but when you speak it, it just magnifies it in your life. So I had to speak it. That's just what's going on right there, Jay.
It sounds like somebody
Now-
took over.
Yes,
His
somebody did take over.
His presence is just
Somebody did take over. Okay, it is time for our first break, folks. And as you can see, Jay and I, we just go in on these subjects. We are very passionate about, our opinion and what we have to say, and we're very passionate about delivering this message to you. So thank you for being with us tonight. We got a great show lined up for you. We got Jamal coming on, and then of course we got the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey, who always puts it down big time. And so before we go to break, let me introduce tonight's topic. A relationship with arguments is a relationship with lots of secrets.
You trying to snitch or something. We're going to have to elaborate.
Yeah. A relationship with no arguments is a relationship with lots of secrets.
Oh, it's gonna be.
That's gonna be super powerful.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's gonna
I
be
don't even know how
super
y'all interpret that, but we're gonna find y'all way, my way.
There you
Facebook.
go.
We need y'all to go ahead and tell us what y'all thinking real quick before we come back.
There you go.
All right, we got 5 minutes. We'll be right back. Facebook right now. and back with Bar Talk with Jay.
That was fire.
With the smooth sounds of Craftmatic, doing them things that make you feel good.
Yes, sir.
About yourself.
Do you know that I cherish you? You got to understand that in arguments. You know what I mean? You got to cherish somebody while you having the argument. Well, we're going to talk about that. Go ahead. Go ahead. We're going to talk about that in just a minute.
Oh, you know, we got to go in on that one.
Yeah.
Because again, cherish, relationship, arguing. I love debating, don't like arguing. But I tell you what, everybody's his own. But we got this guy coming up next. Now, I don't know how his day went. We're about to find out. He believes he can teach the cornballs a lesson.
Okay.
One of the things that I ain't going to do is I'm going to allow somebody to give it to you how they feel, they perceive things. That is my man, Jamal. How you doing, big baby?
Man, what's happening to Craft? What's happening to Bone? What's happening to Bar, man? What's happening to the show? What's happening in Atlanta?
Man, everything is super fire in the ATL, bruh. It's just going on, you know, it's going on around here. I don't participate in much of it, man, but you know, this is hot land. You know, everything's going on here. And in the studio, just super fired up tonight, man, about the show, about you being with us. And so, how you doing, man? How life treating you, bro?
Man, life is going good, man. I can't tell y'all enough. The brightest part of my day is me and my daughter. Like my daughter now, like she'll call every night. She won't give me a chance to call her. She'll call me, Daddy, let's do our prayers.
Oh,
So
wow.
every night I get to be Superman on my daughter. She looks forward to it.
Yeah.
So it's just those little things, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I look forward to talking to her tonight. That's my H-Bone calm. That's my shoulder. So if y'all want to know what it takes to be a real man, stepping up to my daughter is A1 on my list. So
Ah,
that's what it
man.
is with me.
I love that, bruh. I absolutely love that, man. You inspired me. You talking about your daughter. Jay got his daughter here tonight, you know, from Ohio. And
What's happening?
yeah, man, and you cats are really turning the fire up, and I got to go ahead and step up my game a little bit as well. I like to think I be on point, but I can always grow, and that's what this show is about. It's about growth, and you know, you guys just tighten the screw a little bit. You know, on my need to go and get something else accomplished in my life, and man, I really appreciate that. So, what you got for us tonight, Jamal?
Man, what's the topic for tonight?
Oh, here we go. A relationship with no arguments is a relationship with lots of secrets.
That's a boring. First off, it's a boring relationship. It's somebody lying to somebody. Those two people so perfect, compatible that they don't argue. Like that just don't make no sense.
Right.
Anybody that say that they a complete lie, they a complete cheating lie. They a complete cheating lie with a work husband that they smashing it with. That's a whole lie and a half. Ain't physically possible.
Oh,
No
that's
way.
incredible,
Two
man.
sticks together, you gotta rub it together to get some type of friction for the spark to be there.
Yes.
Two people can't be so compatible because that's the most boring relationship, the most boring conversation, the most boring sex life. That's the most boring than everything. That's like living with the Brady. Want, no.
Right.
Man, even goddamn Claire Huxtable put to work to see on time on Cliff. So, you know what? No, it ain't possible. No.
Man, let me tell you, that is absolutely profound. That is profound because what you just said is that for our relationship to grow and to somewhat be healthy and normal, there's gotta be lots of friction. There's gotta be arguments. You know, it may not be a lot of them, but it's gotta be some disagreements.
I break it down like this because every man know this. When you had a hard day at work, you know what I'm saying, you probably thought you did what you did, but you know you feel that muscle strain. When you work out, you tear your muscles apart so they can build up stronger.
Yes.
If you are not combating, number one, a woman is going to change her mood swings. I don't got to be a woman, and I don't got to be the smartest man to know. Women grow, women change, women is indecisive. Women will, one day they want a Lamborghini, next minute they want a minivan. Don't even got no kids, but they just want to change their personality for no reason at all. Listen, they going curve. So it's not possible for you to say y'all ain't going to change or y'all ain't going to have some friction.
Right.
Sometimes, man, we not talking about our daily lives and what we go through, and we not complaining to our woman because we don't want to look to our woman a certain type of way. So you're not going to tell me you're not going to have some friction when she want to talk to you, but you had the worst day at work and you just don't feel like hearing it right now.
Right.
You're not going to tell me that when she talking to you about something you don't want to hear, you don't have that other person that you could just legit just vent your stuff to. not without some friction. Because without no fire, me and you can't forge nothing.
And so,
If we can't if we can't have a healthy argument, be mad at each other, and still stay in the same house for the night, then we can't be together.
and so, are you also suggesting that if these arguments and disagreements are not happening, that people are truly keeping secrets? They're holding back their feelings.
Hell yeah.
Hell
I didn't
yeah.
even mean to say hell yeah like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That was an emphasis on that one.
It's all good.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not. It's physically not possible.
Right.
Okay. I kick it to you like this. If I'm going through something, or you going through something, and you can't have racial bias is a big issue. And it's a big issue because we need a conversation to happen. Whether we agree or disagree, the point is we just need the conversation to happen. Women's rights in the workplace, all these things are conversations that need to be had. So yes, we can disagree, but at least we have the respect enough to talk with one another. If I don't have the faith, the compliance, or the ability to talk to you, there's no way that we can progress in a relationship, because at that point, I don't trust you.
Right.
And if I don't trust you to lay my problems at your feet, then I can't trust you to lay my thoughts on the pillow bed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I can't
Okay.
trust you with this, I can't trust you with that. I can lay a pipe down and keep it pushing. But if you're not that person I can cry to that builds me back up, then no. When I go to work and I come back home and I see my woman in bed, hey, you know what? I'm a proud man. I know what I did for my woman. I feel good about it. At the same time, my woman got to know that when she sees me come home and I'm laying in bed, be proud of your man for the effort that he put in to go to work. But at the same time, you got to talk to me if we have an issue. We gonna fuss. Hell, you know what? I give you 2 glasses to break and 1 lamp. And as long as it's coming back from IKEA, then it got a sale going on right now. And we can break that, but I guarantee we're not leaving the house. We're gonna talk and we're gonna work it out.
Yeah, man.
Because you
I
will
love
not
that.
be going to the next dude trying to have pillow talk with him. Because I'm the other dude that she's talking to.
Right.
Hell no.
Lord.
Right.
You ain't finna. Hell no.
Right.
Him going
Right.
psychotic.
Yeah, man. You just
Bone?
got
Am
such
I
a,
lying?
no. You right on point, man.
Oh, you dead on, but you snapping. You snap. I don't know what that happened.
You know what I'm talking. We ain't gonna say no names, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
know I know you
There's
snapping.
a conversation that needs to be had.
I
and
see.
every time that I'm in town, Bone, you.
Oh, you already know. I know. We ain't saying no names.
Yeah, see, I've always said, I said, several shows ago that, when you're in a relationship, communication can be a double-edged sword, because you sometimes have to bring up that thing that's bothering you, but you know it's going to bother your relationship too if you try to talk about it. If you try to open up the conversation on that, he or she might not want to talk about it or hear about it or what happened the last time it was brought up. And so now you start holding back. And that holding back is what starts to tear the relationship down. Because now I don't trust them to say what I need to say. And if I don't trust them to say what I need to say, I'm probably not willing to listen to them when they say what they need to say. So when I say a double-edged sword, that you gotta open the doorway of struggle sometimes, of strife sometimes. We talked a few shows ago about sorrow, and I believe it was Paul that said you need to increase your sorrows. And so a relationship that's just happy-go-lucky is probably holding back some stuff. And there's some people who are ultimately they're miserable, they're unhappy, and they're not able to express it. And that's where, Jacques Cousteau comes in
And put it
and delivers a powerful message that oftentimes can't be reversed.
No, once he in,
Right.
he in, like Flynn.
Once he in, he in.
I say this: when you keep those thoughts to yourself, at the end, okay, we don't have to agree. I'm still gonna be mad at you no matter what your explanation is, no matter what I say. I can't justify it enough to you, and we're gonna have to agree to disagree. But the point is, can we argue and still be able to talk? Can we disagree and still come back? Because if we can't have a disagreement, how will we ever go and trust each other to take each other to the next level of whatever manhood or womanhood accompanying you don't?
Right.
That is my whole point.
Right. And I recall hearing my parents have arguments, and then an hour later we're at dinner having a normal family dinner like nothing happened. And 2 hours later, I hear there's some knocking on the wall because they in there going at it.
See,
you know?
they tormented you. You was like,
I
yes.
gotta blow off some stress. Okay, put it like, gotta blow off some stress so we got a healthy argument is occasional. Now, I will tell you this. If you do get a girl who has that crazy enough argument, I promise you she got some fire, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Crazy
good,
as
bro.
she is, she got that fire, bro.
Yeah.
She got that monkey. Okay.
Yeah.
that monkey.
That's a whole other subject.
That funky monkey. That brand monkey.
She got that Afiki in there.
That's that Bartolo did. Brand
You know what I
monkey.
mean? Now,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The craziest is. Nah, but
Absolutely.
cornballs, man, I tell every cornball out there, have a conversation with her, bro.
Yeah.
Real talk. If you
Yeah.
scared to talk to her, she not the girl for you. Female, if he ain't gonna talk to you, it's because he's talking to another female. Every dude, no matter how gay, straight he is, whatever, he got that female homegirl. Every dude got one. And I promise you, stupid women, if you not being the one that your man can run and talk to, he got a whole female friend he could call day and night and hit her up, and he could just chop it up with her like nothing. Be your man's friend. Be able to do that silly stuff with him around the house, whatever, but be able to argue with him. Cornball, dudes. Hey, go shoot shopping with your girl, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you started there. Hold on. You did real good. You go grocery shopping.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
Go do something with her. Be your homegirl. Be your girlfriend friend. You know what I'm saying? Be that person. Hey, you might really need to listen to her after she want to tell you and complain about work.
Right.
Me personally, I would just let you know that a lot of yes, no's, and really is the wrong way. Yes, no's, and really.
That means you really paying attention. Really? Yes.
You know that girl from work? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't believe what you told me.
No.
You been the one that told you that last time?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. And you just say yes, no, really in that order. You say, well, a lot of times you ain't even got to be halfway paying attention.
Right.
But this guy there gonna be your girlfriend to talk to, man. That save a whole lot of arguing
Right.
and a whole lot of cheating.
Hey, listen, man. I love your segment tonight. I think you hit the nail on the head. You just really put it out there in a really nice way, man, that you gotta be able to argue. And it's not possible. It's just not possible to have a good, healthy relationship if there's no friction. You know what I'm saying? It's boring and,
believe me.
you're never growing.
How you gonna grab
It can be friction without a relationship.
That's the whole point. If she argue with you, that means you get to pull her hair a little bit harder. You know what I'm saying? This one here. Oh, if y'all understand that, then you were cornball for real.
See?
I'm telling you, they. I'm telling you,
I don't know if y'all heard what Jay said. He said it can be friction without a relationship.
why you over there talking like this your girl? Boy, stop.
It right there too.
Let me tell you,
Silly, man.
one of your boys' friends come over and she don't like him. Oh, it's friction immediately.
Yeah.
She gonna let you know I don't like him. I don't like what he talking about.
Okay, you talking about that friction? Okay.
You got that? Oh, it's all kind of friction. Don't get it twisted. I'm just trying to relate to
The
people.
right light night person, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Trying to
yes.
get a million.
There you go.
This
There
is
you
summer
go.
dress season in Georgia. Every man should be salivating right now. In Georgia, Florida, Texas, every man, every brother, every white man.
Yeah.
Hey, it's summer dress season.
Yeah.
So what you saying? What you saying about that summer dress? What you trying to say?
But hey, when they got that summer dress, it's something so sexy about that summer dress, bruh. And it, with the no sleeves, this is sexy season. They start taking off all the clothes. It's Georgia. It's cakes and yams and greens all summer long with these. Oh my God, cornballs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know something? You make me feel good about being in Georgia. You know? Wait, I'm like, hold on, where am I?
Yeah.
You're like, where?
Listen,
Okay.
this is, you know, I lived a lot of places outrageous here. You know what I mean? I lived a lot of places outrageous here. So, listen, man, we always appreciate your commentary. You bring it so hard every week. And we're going to go ahead and part so we can go to our break. But any parting comments for you?
Cornballs, man, confidence is the number one key. Confidence in everything you do.
Okay.
But above all, give your daughter a hug, a kiss. Tell that girl you love her when you get off the radio, when you get off the phone. Man, every man should be a Superman to their daughter. I'm always going to preach that.
Right.
Man, I love you, Jersey.
There you go.
Look
All
at it.
right.
Shout her name out. Shout it out.
Jersey, wow.
Amen.
We go ahead and say Simone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It is.
Mary and Tiana. You know what I mean? We don't know who they is, but they very
Throw 'em
special
out
to
there.
me.
Throw 'em
Yes.
out there.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So thank you, brother. We'll talk with you next week.
You.
All right.
All right.
Okay, folks, it's time for us to go to another break,
What you got for
and
us?
we hope that you are enjoying this show. I think my personal professional opinion is that I've never heard this kind of dialogue in any show, in any format, and I think this is as rich as it has gotten in our world. This type of dialogue, it's just doing something for me, and I hope it's doing something for you. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this. Maybe never. Maybe never. Maybe never.
Sound.
So, folks, welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay. And again, I'm Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth
In the
Jay.
building, baby. In the building.
And we hope you're enjoying the show thus far. Tonight's topic, we're not able to get Brother Jeffrey on the phone, so we're going to go ahead and introduce the topic and just kind of go in
Let's
and
do what we do.
see what happens.
Facebook, I'm totally disappointed. I said Facebook, hit me up. Throw it out there.
All right.
You get any response?
Well, we ain't seen no response.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I see Erica and Princess joined us.
We love y'all to keep joining.
Yes.
Commenting
Keep on
helps
in.
the show.
Edith, yep.
We trying to get them in there. I know Edith will. Edith, you don't have to. You okay? She do enough. Edith do so much
She do
in
so
the background.
much,
I appreciate.
Yeah.
My daughters are here and they say hello.
Yeah.
Because that's how well she
That's awesome,
knows
man.
me.
That's awesome. So tonight's topic is a relationship with no arguments is a relationship with lots of secrets.
Uh-oh, somebody's starting to snitch up in y'all. Now, why they gotta argue so much? You know, this is my thing. You know, arguments and friction,
Good question.
we feel it. My thing is this, though. I like to tell you, arguing and debating are close.
But
The difference is the debating is I'm giving you opportunity to listen, but I can give a rebuttal. A lot of arguing is getting into your feelings.
yes.
And a lot of times cutting a person off because you don't want to lose your chain of thought because he done hit a nerve.
Right, you done hit a
So
nerve.
I don't really
Right.
care
Right.
for you to finish nothing at this point. I'm going to give you the what? The business.
Yes.
So my whole thing is understanding how things work. But again, you try to get to a strong-minded person and get them to calm down about how they feel like you're taking their voice away.
Yes.
Oh, you think combative is a sweet, easy thing. That little sweet person that you can't even see hurting nobody turn vicious.
Vicious, yes.
The words roll off her tongue so
Sharp.
cut
Yeah.
throat.
Yes.
I don't like you.
Yes.
You can't take away a person's voice. So a lot of times you really want to debate them for you have a better understanding because I don't have to take anything from you.
Right.
But if we both can learn from each other, I have a better understanding.
Right.
Because we have to open ourselves more up. And like I like to say we were selfish.
Right.
I like to see things just my way.
Right.
And then I see people that's like-minded with me, and they always agree with me.
Right.
Them ain't the best people that can also push you.
Right.
They agree with you. My whole thing, there's no pushing and pulling a lot of times when it's that. There's disagreeing.
That's exactly right.
I
That's
need to be
exactly
pushed
right.
and pulled.
See, I'm of the notion that there is, there's debate, there's good arguments, and then there's bad arguments. Right? Now, let's just spend a little time.
Think about it. Arguing is usually when you're in your feelings.
You are, but when I say bad
It's kind
arguing,
of hard.
bad arguing is where you start name calling.
Oh, see, now you just fine.
and
That's
where
just
you
dog.
start,
That's a technical.
where you
That's-
start, throwing out fouls.
That's-
You start throwing
technical.
flags, red flags. You start really cutting their throat with words,
But remember,
calling them out their name, all that other stuff. That's bad arguing.
that's just elevated. You think about it. That's
Yeah.
just more elevated.
No,
Because
no, I've had
when you get in
arguments.
your feelings, you have good intention,
Yeah.
but your voice gives a negative reflection.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't get. It's just I'm cool with it, but you know I don't like how it's starting. Now you yelling at me, I'm yelling back with aggression,
Right.
saying that at this point now we're getting to a point where we disrespect it.
Right.
I'm getting mad at
And that's
myself.
the bad argument side. That's when
Totally
you don't
bad.
went across the fence to the
It's
bad argument
past
side.
debating. At this point, we ain't listening.
You're
We're
not listening.
feelings.
Yeah.
We're fighting.
Right.
That's what it is. An argument leads to a fight. Now everybody know back in the day, we all like to fights. You know, you argue to make up everybody how that goes. That was cute then.
Mhm.
And sometimes it even works now when you had just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
I promise you, when you communicate clearly, because I was in my feelings when you first was telling me, I really wasn't listening. But I calmed down, I started listening, it's like, you know something, I missed it.
Yeah. And
Man,
you
change the game, and all of a sudden, boy, you get the loving that you ain't had before.
Yeah, and we all should be aware that the key component in arguments
Mhm.
is listening.
Yeah.
And if you're not listening, then you're in the bad argument side, right? You're not being productive, nothing's going to happen. I also want to just make a point here
Which one is that?
that let's just make it a rule of thumb that there is no room for bad arguments. Let there not be room in your household and in your relationship for bad arguments. Name calling and you know, bringing up old shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's just trying to hurt somebody's feelings and trying to cut somebody's throat and trying to make somebody feel less than.
Yeah.
That's absolutely horrible. In fact,
correct.
just something I just learned. Mr. Rogers said one of the worst evils in the entire universe is making someone feel less than they truly are. And when you're in an argument, you have to be alert and be careful that you don't say something that you might regret. Bite your tongue, your jaw, whatever you gotta do. Go get you a paper towel, put it in your mouth. Whatever you gotta, put some soap in your mouth.
That ain't happening,
You know,
Trav.
hey, walk outside. Say, hey,
Yeah.
listen, baby, I need a station identification. Let me just take a
You
quick
ask
break.
for it. She'll give you what she can give you.
But it is taboo. It is absolutely forbidden for you to manage yourself in an argument with your significant other. Let's just all take that on as a rule of thumb. We cannot go there no matter how deep the implications are, what they're saying, how deep our feelings are. We always got to stay in respect. And so, because if you stay in respect, you might say some hurtful things or you might say some direct things, but they're not things that you have to take back. They're not things that really tell how you feel about a person. You know,
I mean,
you don't want. You might feel that somebody's a fat slob, but never say it.
I won't tell you you're supposed to speak every asinine thing to existence.
Right?
But if you feel like I'm not going to say it because it might hurt their feelings, I'll be the first to say that you might need to say it. You can't control how a person might really perceive it.
It's about how you say it.
And my whole thing is you can be respectful, but you got to sometimes give it.
Yeah.
Because you can't control somebody else's lie. That's the same reason why you tell a lie.
Right.
If you really think about it, you tell a lie because I want to control the situation. I broke the lamp. Mama asked you who broke the lamp. I'm going to say, I don't know why, because if I say I broke it, I'm going to get that ass whooped.
Right.
I'm trying to avoid that, so I'm lying. I didn't do it.
Right.
That's where it starts. So again, did you cheat? No. Why? I don't want to face what you might do at this point. I can't control if I say yes, I
Right.
did.
Right.
Because you can't say you can control what you just gave up power to.
Right.
Because that's what she's looking for.
She's yeah, and if
And you
give
don't
up
want to give
power-
that to her.
Right.
But my whole thing is what you call yourself giving up might have already been notated. Might have been the one thing that might have saved you.
Mhm.
Because she already knew the truth.
She
Like,
already
can you
knew.
ever tell the truth?
Yeah.
Can you ever be real? Because if a person can't be honest, I can't see a person being trustworthy. Why would I be trustworthy to a person I can't even be honest?
Right.
I know you lie to everybody else. I feel like you don't lie to me eventually.
Right.
I mean, why would you stop at me when you lie to everybody else? Ain't nothing you say ever been true.
That's right.
And that's
right.
just how you live. So my
And-
whole thing, don't ask me to respect what I don't care for. I don't care for a lie.
Mhm.
My whole thing is it's a choice. I understand y'all call it a little white lie. I'm tired of the little white lie.
And
There's no such
listen,
thing.
one or two little white lies can ruin all
First
the
of
other
all,
truths that you
put
tell.
a color to a situation that was already bad.
Right.
A lie is a lie.
Right.
Ain't nothing good about a lie.
Right.
Yeah, but I told a little white lie like I purify. You can't purify what's already wrong.
Right.
By a color.
Right.
That's why I don't like when I hear about, just a little white lie. You trying to what? Make a lie pretty?
Well, you trying
Ain't
to,
nothing pretty to me.
you trying to spin the situation.
Because you
Right.
want me to what? Look at something I don't need to be looking at.
Right.
Don't tell me about a little
Right.
white lie.
That's that's what the devil does. He deceives.
Well,
right?
he playing you.
Yeah, he deceives.
Off of small words,
Mhm.
but you forget the main prize.
Yeah.
There's the issue, and if you don't address it, it's coming back. Right.
Yeah, I just think most importantly, you got to remember to address it with tact and
respect.
and slow words.
Not too
meaning-
slow though.
No.
Like Bernie Mac, like no.
I can't stand you, man.
No, that's low. What's lower now? It's so
That's
I
good.
can comprehend.
That's
I got
good.
you, baby.
Again, once again, I really don't hear much dialogue. I don't really hear much development in the world around how to deal with arguments. And we all deal with arguments. We all deal with disagreements. And how you get your point across almost determines whether the bridge is there when you get back or not. And so you have to always handle things with tact. You can never take for granted that the person who you're talking to, that you're not going to need them tomorrow. You cannot say something to me that's so derogatory that you can't ask me for a favor tomorrow, right?
I
It's
totally
just
agree.
uncalled for. It's disrespectful. It's really just not good. But arguments happen because people are dealing with very sensitive issues. Sensitive issues to them. It's subjective. Sensitive to their heart and their mind. And it could be from anything from, hey, you didn't clean up the kitchen, to, you didn't pay the bills, you're not managing money right, to, we've talked about these conversations. I'm not quite sexually satisfied. You know what I mean?
It ain't working, boss.
But here's the thing. It seems as though, and we got a couple of minutes before we take break. It seems as though every time you want to express your true feelings, you have to walk on eggshells.
I don't want to crash down.
And I think maybe that's the nature of a real relationship. That is showing a loving quality to someone because you don't want them to misunderstand what you're saying. You don't want them to take it out of whack. And so you label your words and you say it softly, and you could say it real quick and real poignant, but you don't do it because you're trying to be nurturing. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That just
It's
takes
not.
self-restraint
It's
for
not
the
wrong
love
with
of
it.
someone else.
But I dated bullies.
Oh, you dated bullies. I
dated-
met a couple of bullies.
Yeah, I dated bullies.
Yeah.
I dated people that just kind of push their way.
Yeah.
And when they don't get their way, see, they act like they say small and innocent, right? And they smile and they bat their eyes, and it's like, I'm so cute, you just can't be mad at me. It's like, well, whatever. Because they come at you with all facts. They give it to you hard, and then all of a sudden when they don't get their way, oh my goodness. You say don't say hurtful things?
Yeah.
Oh, they slide things, bro.
They slide.
They slide.
things. Yeah, they
They
slide.
ain't direct. You take what they say. You took that way.
Yeah.
See, they lead you.
Yeah.
They bait you.
Yeah.
And they be like,
Well,
well, you can't say I said it.
Well, a man would have did this.
Mm-hmm. No, a man that
What?
cares enough, or a man
What?
that can handle me.
Yeah.
You be like, hold on. So what you saying
What you
about?
say- Yeah, what you
They
saying
do it on
about
purpose.
me?
They leave, but
Listen.
the whole thing is they drop you off.
You
And
know
they be
what?
like, well, if
See,
you was handling yours, boo boo. Really?
I think that is on the dirty argument side.
What you think? I'm giving up game.
That is on the dirty argument side, and that happens too often. And listen, arguments don't get resolved because people throw too much of that stuff
Shade.
in the dark. Shade.
50 Shades of Fuck.
You can't throw shade in the middle of an argument.
They do it all the time.
Because
it's
now
the next for them.
What you tried to do was cut me, right?
No, she did cut. She cut you and poked you. That's called a cut.
Yeah, and see,
Dagger.
that kind of argument just doesn't produce good fruit, man. I'm telling you.
Nobody
And
said
I've
good
seen
fruit.
it happen. I've seen it happen on too many occasions where two people could have come to an agreement, but somebody had to throw some shade. Somebody had to talk about the last time you messed up. Or
It's
somebody.
thrown in such a disrespectful
It's
way.
such a disrespectful way. It's almost like
you ain't nothing.
it's
You know
almost
what you
like they're
did.
smacking you in the face with the palm of their hand real loud,
That's not cool.
It's not cool, but the people who do that gotta realize the impact that they're making. Oftentimes they don't.
need to. They need to.
Oftentimes they don't. Like I've met smart aleck people who seem to be clueless that what they just said was smart alecky.
Okay.
right? You ever met somebody like that? Like,
Man,
they'll be throwing dirt, but they do it in such a sly, slick way.
They don't even do it in slick, bro. I think they want you to know. They if you don't catch it, they feel like you retarded.
Yep.
That's what they do.
That's what they do, huh?
I met
I don't
people
like
like
those
that.
kind of
and
arguments and
I
disagreements.
hate to say it's two things. I met people like that. I'm attracted to people like that, and my daughter is like that.
You're attracted.
Oh yeah.
You're attracted to people like that.
No. I'm attracted to people that has mindful like that.
Yeah.
My daughter is like that. Hey, we're gonna get her on.
Yeah.
Because I want y'all to hear from her.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
again, you know, a lot of times, most people see about the boys, they don't see the girls. Girls is there, and
Yeah.
they gonna make their presence known. Because like I said, they strong-minded.
Mm-hmm.
But this conversation right now leads right back to what I was telling you.
Right.
This ain't gonna be easy. When it comes to an argument, we're gonna get from a female's point of view, why does it happen? Most guys can argue back, and some of us can debate well. But when it comes to straight arguing, only thing I can say is I ain't seen too many of us win arguments because you're in your feelings. They got all the facts when it comes to that, and they know how to press the right buttons. But when it comes to being in a debate, that's just holding facts.
Right.
That right there can go either way. I can't always say, but when it comes to them feelings, and they getting in them feelings, oh, they go deep.
They go deep.
When I say they go, they cut
yeah.
throat deep.
I know.
It's like,
I know.
oh, I ain't even know you were. Oh yeah, you
Cut
bought it in your sleep.
Cut you past the white meat to the bone.
You could have killed me.
Yeah.
And you go laugh afterwards, like you didn't know. You knew.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
Dang.
folks. It's time for us to take a real quick break. I want you to enjoy the music. I want you to stay tuned. We're gonna continue going in on the subject right after this music. Right after this song.
settle for less than your best. Ladies, I want you to understand, the same way that you went after your degree, go after that fruitful relationship. Prepare yourself mentally and spiritually. Put it out there in the universe, and you will attract that man to the right type of man to a man like this because of it.
Yes.
But you out here playing around with offset. Your ass is sick.
Woo! For a very long time. Wah, 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 wah.
All right, ladies. You got to prepare yourself for a relationship.
Facebook, if y'all ain't agreeing, disagreeing, and you want to agree, come on now, give us some
Listen,
feedback.
What I really like about that is that, you know, when he says, you know, women don't prepare themselves for a relationship, that when they finally get into it, it's almost like they maybe not ready for it or not ready to commit to it. And I like my favorite part of what he said was, when you have to pursue love and your relationships like you would that job and that career.
Hardcore.
And that's a point really for all of us to take, because life is too short to miss a good someone because you're trying to sit on the sidelines.
Oh yeah, trying to get everything else you can get.
Yeah.
Being a doctor.
And it ain't worth it out.
Yeah.
It ain't worth it. Yeah.
You just trying to be just a little mannish little thigh. Motherfuckers there.
I'm feeling you, brother Jeffrey, and point well taken, my friend. We are ready for the next segment.
All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook.
Yeah, we figured.
Fellas, you are next.
Okay.
All right, fellas, some of y'all answers the same simply because you think women are out here trying to get over on you. First of all, you ain't got no money. You are a thousand man, meaning you make a few $1,000s every quarter. That ain't enough for these women out here. They already make more money than you make in a month. I need you to understand something, fellas. Ain't no woman really checking you for your money if you dating the right woman. What she's checking you for is how much time can you give her? How can you invest in her? How do you move her spiritually? You still trying to have her pay for her drinks on the damn first date at $28. Get your cheap ass on out of here, brother. I need you to step it up. You have to know that anything worth value, cost becomes secondary. I need you to understand. Anything worth value, the cost of it becomes secondary. The value that you bring to the relationship will take you further than anything else. when it comes to the modern, educated, successful woman. So fellas, when you step your game up, you ain't got to worry about money because you sustain yourself with the value you bring to the marketplace.
Right.
And if you don't bring any value to the marketplace, well, first of all, you're working for somebody else, and second of all, your ass is probably sick.
Hey, and I might add, probably broke. You know?
But now that I look at it, hang on. Y'all like, I'm starting to look at myself here. Hold on. This is not meant for some shoes for me. But guess what?
Put them on and walk around.
I'm gonna walk real. I say broke and the rest. My whole thing is you got to look at the bigger picture. What do you really want? I don't really feel like you're supposed to be pressing anybody to get in anything before they're ready. In order for it to last. But again, some people be like, yo, that's just talk. My whole thing is it can be if that's what a person want to lay it at.
Yeah.
You can talk game and you can keep going if that's what you choose to do. And some people love to be a player for life. Do them. But the bottom line, I ain't gotta lie to you.
Yeah.
See, if I tell you this and it's out of trueness, you can make a decision. That means I ain't trying to control you. A lot of times people get confused about this control thing because I ain't trying to control you if I'm telling you honestly.
Right.
I
That's
honestly
exactly
already
right.
know
That's
it's gonna
exactly
give me grief.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you something you ain't even used to.
Yeah.
Telling the person I don't want to be in a monogamous relationship and you think that's gonna fly? Let me tell you, you're gonna get opposition because they're gonna tell you what they really want.
Yeah.
And it's not what the hell you're saying. And that's why they're telling it to you. You ain't even talking their language. It's like, yo, you retarded. Listen, I kinda like you and you're losing points. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a moment to see if you'll change your mind. Really, why would I change my mind when I told you? Because you ain't even acting right, boo-boo. You fail, you hit your head, you a little slow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, before you hit that door, I'm trying to help you out. And it's sad, but I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you get hit with it harder than you do with just a lie. Like, yeah, I want a monogamous relationship just with you, knowing I got 2 other people I'm going to see right after I leave your ass. And I say it because it's less opposition.
Yeah.
And she like, in her head, I don't think he's ready, but I'm going to let him get some cookies tonight, and we're going to see where he go from here. And then
Wow.
he gets crazier and crazier.
Listen, you point validate.
Okay.
My friend. Point
Keep going,
validate.
keep going.
All right, Brother Jeffrey, we'll turn it back over to you, my friend.
All right, this is real simple. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we have to be about is the business of rebuilding our communities. And that's going to take a lot of sacrifice. A lot of sacrifice meaning that we can't just be focused on self anymore. We have to focus on being builders of young men and young women. It was Frederick Douglass that said it is better to build up a child than build a broken man or try to rebuild a broken man. Now, I'm paraphrasing. I messed that quote all up, but you get the gist of it.
We get it.
Man, what we have to do is make sure that when we come to the marketplace, and I mean the relationship, that we bring something of value. Because I promise you, and I said this last week, whatever you bring a woman, she's going to multiply it. So if you bring her crap, she's going to multiply that crap and leave your ass alone.
Right.
But if you bring her a business, she'll give you a plan to make it to bring it to fruition. But you got to be about business. And ladies, what I need you to understand is it's okay to be able to do all the things that a man can do. But don't sacrifice doing the things that are unique to women. Make sure you can still do the things that are unique to you, that make you better in most instances than the average man. We got to start focusing on each other, on the relationship, and when we do that, that moves our community forward. When we move our community forward, we are able to build better households, some better kids, better boys, better girls. And when we move everything forward like that, it's going to be an awesome change in our community. And that's all I got.
That's all.
That's all we need, my friend.
Man,
that's
that right
all
there
we
is-
need.
I felt the healing.
Yeah, man, we just don't talk about building communities enough. And we, the way you put it out there, Brother Jeffrey, is just really kind of profound. Be about business. Right?
Invest in yourself.
Yes, be about business. We've been talking the last couple of weeks about increasing your sorrows, and that's a part of rebuilding our communities. That we gotta all hunker down and really get into a struggle. And it doesn't have to be a struggle like Martin Luther King's struggle, but the struggle is your hard work and effort toward creating something bigger than yourself. That's how you build a community. You build something bigger than you. You go participate in something bigger than you. If it's just your children's schooling, get down there and do something and have a voice. If it's being, the person who bake the cakes at work, you're going to bring the pastry. You're the pastry person at work. And whether you stop by Dunkin' Donuts or you bake them yourself, build your community. And you'll be surprised at how all of that love and how all that giving and how all of that pouring in comes back. It's a real supernatural idea, and I thank you, Brother Jeffrey, for bringing it tonight. We are talking tonight about arguments. And the way the topic goes is a relationship with no arguments is a relationship with lots of secrets. How would you commentate on that?
Well, see, I'm going to disagree because a lot of times relationships with a lot of arguments are built around triggers, and people only identify love with the triggers. And when you love somebody based on the way they trigger you, you really are loving from a wounded place. So I'm going to say that a relationship without a lot of argument really happens with a mature couple that healed themselves before they came to the relationship. Now, you're going to have some differences, and you might just leave those differences where they are. But if you can agree to disagree and keep moving forward in the relationship, that ain't even an argument.
Right.
That's just a disagreement. The argument comes into play when I got to be right, or you got to be right, or I need drama to know that she loves me, or drama to know that she loves me. Nah, damn, that ain't probably got time for that stuff. We got too many things to worry about.
Right.
So I'm going to disagree. An argument or a relationship with no argument is actually relationship goals. You're still going to have differences of opinion, but the goal is to work things out and to move the relationship forward.
I like that, man. I like that. I mean, what else can be said on the subject? We Jamal earlier just introduced the idea, and it's just about time for a break. But Jamal introduced the idea that you're not going to have, if you have a relationship with no friction or no disagreements, it's boring. And it may not be of a whole lot of care, a whole lot of value in that. How would you respond to that, sir?
Well, now, understood. If you're dealing with your triggers, yes, it's going to be boring because you need those triggers to, release the endorphins and the dopamine and everything that you need to feel value and love in your relationship. What I will say to you, though, is if you say those chemical responses to the romance and to the love, boy, you got some serious spark. So when it's all tied to drama, that's going to drain you. Whereas when it's tied to the love and the sincerity and the endearment, then it's going to sustain your relationship. Now, the boring part could be just because you're boring and still in bed. You could do all that stuff and not be boring in bed and still have the bomb relationship without having a bunch of arguments. And that's where I believe.
And you left it just right, my friend.
that question was
And we are right on time, man.
Look, don't get it twisted. I ain't got to be mad at you. I ain't got to be in an argument with you for me to choke you doing bed or doing that. You don't get it twisted.
Jerry, yeah, too much. Jerry, don't bring it. Jerry.
Yes, sir.
It's Easter weekend, play hard.
I'm hearing you, my brother.
I'm hearing hands on throat.
Hey, listen,
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. Fantastic dialogue, man. Any closing words for us?
No, we don't take this one to the bank. I will love you to death. I won't argue with you. You don't have to have old dates and stuff like that. I don't have to love you from a trigger. And if you want me to, I will still choke you in bed. We gonna leave it right there.
Bedroom bully. Shout him out.
Hey, listen, I think women like aggressive men too.
Yeah. Huh? Bedroom bullies.
Bedroom bullies. Yes, sir. Hi.
She talking about I really everywhere but the bedroom.
Yes, sir. All right, Brother Jeffrey, we'll talk with you next week, my friend. Thank you so much.
All right, take it easy. Sorry I was late, fellas. Y'all take it easy.
Man,
you were right on time, man.
All day.
You. All right, folks.
All right, listen.
Okay, as you can see, man, this show is just...
We on fire.
This show is on one for real. I love it, man. I love this dialogue. I wish we had, another 10 people in the room that could
what them young people say? We lit.
Yeah, we absolutely
That
will.
right, we lit.
All right, I got another smooth groove for you right here, and when we come back, both Jay and I will continue to go in on the
we
subject.
bring in my
'Cause
daughter.
there's a few points I want to make, and Jay's daughter's gonna come to the table and give her testimony on the subject. And so y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. More Bar Talk with you.
And this hour right here, we're about to change it up a little bit. The game is about to change because my daughter made it in the building. I got two of them in here tonight. Ah, my
Yeah, we're
goodness.
looking forward to hearing from them tonight. Absolutely.
One behind the bar.
Listen, we got several other people who have joined us on the show
Who is?
tonight.
Who else
That's
is?
Tammy and Jeffrey,
Uh-huh.
Sharita,
Okay.
is that John, Deborah,
Okay.
Loretta.
Okay.
Thank you all for being with us tonight. This is a powerful set of ideas. Tonight we're talking about arguments, and the specific topic is a relationship with no arguments is a relationship with lots of secrets.
All right. I got my daughter sitting next in the building. You know, we gave our rebuttal, and we
Yeah.
gonna go a little deeper.
Yeah, I
because we
wanna
got
go
other
deeper.
people in the building.
Yeah.
I want to know about everybody's opinion tonight. But we want to make sure we hear about you, daughter. Jazz in the building tonight, y'all.
Mike, talking to the mic.
No,
Hello,
you
ma'am.
only call me that.
Oh,
You want to call me that?
oh,
Go ahead.
what nickname for tonight?
We got the same name, Jay.
Oh,
Jay.
J on J.
J O J.
J.
Okay.
Let's
okay.
talk about your thoughts about that argument.
Yeah. What about arguing? Talking to the mic first. What about arguments?
Don't keep putting it in front of that mic. Lord have mercy, man.
ain't no good if she ain't talking loud
I got
enough.
two grandkids now. Hold on, I'm burning back down there. Hold on, baby.
I'm one of them people y'all was talking about.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Like what?
I'll cut you.
Oh, Lord. No,
Say that again.
No, she don't say that in the mic.
Say that again. Say that again.
She gets mad at people.
Hold on.
I can't let her do that. That's
I want to hear what she said. I think
Okay.
somebody might identify that. You would do what?
Cut you.
Lord have mercy. I tried to cover that up. I tried to say it.
So does that mean you don't argue well?
No, I mean she don't play well.
Yes, he understands.
Yeah, her sandbox is her saying.
So in an argument, are you always have to be right in your
No.
No? Do you accept constructive criticism when you argue?
If it's what you just said.
If it's constructive.
Yes.
Okay. And what has made you want to cut a man before? Tell us that story.
What has it?
Oh my goodness. Does that mean everything? No, are you easily upset? You have a temper?
Yes.
Yes.
She dropped it down low.
Okay, she got a temper, right? And so something he asks you or something he says, you kind of blow up. And at that point, are you detached and you ain't trying to hear nothing, or do you speak loud and get angry, or do you hold your feelings back and just kind of blow steam out your ears? What does that look like?
It could be all of those.
Oh Lord. We ain't looking good in home team.
situation.
Okay. You want to tell us about an experience?
Nope.
That's incriminating.
Yes.
Well, no.
We don't self-snitch in the family.
It's giving people an opportunity to learn from your story.
Yeah, but she ain't got
And maybe
self-snitch.
something that you regret doing. Something you did that you say, hey, I probably shouldn't. I think better now.
Nothing criminal. Nothing criminal.
You know,
Daddy, help out.
Hold on.
a friend let me know that I had temper issues.
You had temper
So
issues? Okay.
I went and talked to somebody about that. So I seek counseling. Yeah, I need outside help
Okay.
other than family and friends. Someone
Okay.
like a judge.
Okay.
So I could say that, but yeah.
And what happened in those counseling sessions? Did you grow? What did you learn about yourself?
That I had a temper.
Yeah, and what does that mean, though? I mean,
That
does
I'm explosive.
that mean that the world The world controls your emotions?
No, I control my emotions.
She got triggers.
Okay.
I got triggers.
A lot of them.
Hmm.
And a
Very
lot of
much
people
so.
keep hitting
It's
them.
almost like PTSD.
Yeah.
And
Was you
never
ever in the
been-
war?
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah, she did one. She grew up in Akron, Ohio, bro. Akron, Ohio. She grew up in the war.
Akron, Ohio.
If y'all knew anything about Akron, oh yeah, that's Chi Town for real.
Okay.
Chicago ain't the only one got high defs. I'm trying to
Okay.
tell you.
Well, listen, I love to hear the fact that you took constructive criticism. Oftentimes, we have to take constructive criticism several times, many times, maybe over many years before we finally wake up and say, yeah, I just ruined a perfectly good relationship with my temper. And I need to do something about that. And your temper may, I guess we'll say it this way. Your temper may be expressing outwardly, but there may be something very different going on the inside, right? There may be some real friction and some turmoil and some sadness or some pain that you're dealing with, and it comes out in your anger. Anger is the effect, right? What is the cause? There's a cause for that effect. And sometimes it may be just thinking I'm losing control, etc. But tempers in arguments don't work.
That's why I don't.
That's why you don't argue. Okay.
You know something? I was
Yeah.
just thinking about something.
Mhm.
I had people that was pushing folks for like a relationship.
Okay.
All right, they pushing for it because they feel like their biological clock is ticking. It's something that they want. It was something that they feel like they should have by now.
Okay. Okay.
But what they're putting pressure on is a person that is getting there, but he's not there. So he's like growing into a position, but you're there.
Right.
You're applying pressure, but you really ain't ready yourself.
Okay.
But to you, you are.
Right.
It's time. I know this is what I deserve. You pump yourself up, but do you look at how you live?
Right.
So a lot of times you have desires, but to get your desires met, what are you doing to work on yourself? It's like saying, I want a good husband, but am I really could be a good wife? Not could be. What are you doing now? Because again, it just fits into the role that you're going to continue to play.
Right.
That a lot of times you don't even really want. I like the idea, but I don't like the control. I don't like this. So to me, a lot of times the person that you call yourself really want, you really don't even want. It's a myth. It's a thought of idea. In a dream that you're dreaming, that you're messing up your own reality.
Yeah.
So it's not saying I got this perfect person, but
Right.
I got it in the perfectest way that I'm really not looking at being compromised. Because remember, everything ain't perfect,
Right.
nor are you.
Right.
But I got this perfect thought. There's gonna be this perfect way, and you ain't willing to compromise. That's why you need to be perfectly by yourself.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is trying to contaminate and not really help. Because again, what you like is what you like. I'm not
What you
tripping
like,
on
what
that.
you want is what you want.
That's good.
But-
But if you ain't willing to compromise, that's all you ever want. Then don't play with somebody that's not willing to compromise with you.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point to make in a discussion about arguments. There has to be great compromise. And I'm not just talking about 10 or 15%, I'm talking about 75, 80%.
Okay.
You may have to give up what you want, and hopefully what the other person wants, it makes you happy that they get what they want. That's the kind of give in that you have to have in a relationship in order to get through some of those tough discussions, some of those tough topics that come up. It just doesn't work any other way. One of the things that I wanted to cover was in the midst of an argument, and we've all found ourselves in them. They just kind of spark up. You intend to just say one thing, or they intend to just say one thing, and next thing you know, you're saying something back, and next thing you know, you're cutting each other off, and your voices are starting to raise, and your temperament is starting to increase, and your blood starts to boil, and next thing you know, you're in a full-blown heated argument, and you didn't even intend for it to get there, right? And again, a lot of those things that are happening is somebody may be throwing darts and throwing shade. That might escalate it. Somebody might not be telling the truth. That might escalate it. Somebody might be wanting to hurt somebody else's feelings with words, popping off at the mouth. That's not going to help it. So at some point, we all have to realize that this can't continue. This argument is not going anywhere. And that each person, the male and the female, the spouse, whatever, have to wake up. Somebody has to wake up and say, we got to change this situation right now. And some of the words that I want to use here is downtime. Maybe, two people who have a lifetime relationship, maybe they would use some words like pineapples or strawberries, you know what I'm saying, billy goat, whatever that word is, but maybe
Help.
help. Yeah, maybe that word is something that can spark a next level of respect in the conversation and in the dialogue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you get that next level of respect, both of you can see that what has been said is not working. It's not getting to one another. One's not listening, etc.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about recognizing that you're in a problematic state. You can't be in a state where you're full of anger and you're heated and everybody's saying stuff that doesn't work. You cannot stay there. So you got to wake up out of that and say, hey, I need to change. Maybe I need to just be quiet now. Maybe I just need to okay and for the next 5 minutes so that I don't say something that hurts the environment anymore. And it takes a big boy, it takes a big girl to do that. It takes a big person to take a step back and not be trying to be heard and understood and not trying to get their point across and not trying to have their way, not trying to be right. They just take a step back for the sake of the relationship. It's almost like you're in a battle and then you somehow elevate and escalate above the battle and see that, hey, you know what, maybe I need to not be doing that. Maybe I need to be going a different route. You got to elevate your consciousness in the midst of and stop the argument. The argument is going nowhere. Maybe there's a point where each of you can have what's called a no-interrupt debate. Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to say my 1 point for 2 minutes, and then you say your 1 point for 2 minutes, and we might have a next round, but that's how they do it in the court of law.
But you don't interrupt.
You don't interrupt. Everybody has their piece.
No
they
matter
say
how
their
you
piece.
feel, you cannot disrespect.
That's exactly right. And during those types of sessions, I've had numerous of those types of sessions, and they were healthy, but it afforded me the opportunity to take notes. And that way I didn't miss a single point when it was time for me to say my piece, right?
Don't record it.
I ain't gotta record it. I just took notes. No, that's not that. That's just as you say something, I'm be like, okay, I'm finna address that, right? Oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna address that, right? So now when it's my turn to talk, I got the most meaningful dialogue that I can have, right? Still, I don't want to tear down. I don't want to use bad words and harsh language, but I'll have an opportunity to say my piece without being interrupted. Because, listen, the whole point of the game is that every person is trying to be heard and understood. That is the greatest human need, is to be heard and understood. And a lot of the arguments come from feeling like I'm not heard and I'm not understood. And part of not being heard and not being understood is because I hadn't had a chance to say what the hell I want to say. You keep stopping me from saying what I want to say. You keep cutting me off. You keep acting like what I'm saying is not important or what you got to say is more important. Yeah, and we're all victims of it. We're all victims of it because we're anxious during those discussions. There's a lot of anxiety going on, and sometimes we have to catch ourselves, and sometimes the people who's we're having the dialogue with can remind us. You know, I've been reminded on several occasions, baby, you're not hearing what I'm saying. I didn't finish. I'm like, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't let you finish. That's exactly right.
Because I heard this one thing. You said you was out last. I didn't even want to hear it. You know, it cut you off.
It cut you off. That's exactly right. And that's what you said last time. What you keep saying the same thing over and over. That's because I feel like you ain't heard what I said. And if somebody is saying the same thing over and over, that is the reality. They're saying it over. They're saying it over and over and over because they don't feel like they got through.
That's bitching. If you keep saying it over and over and over, you bitching. I don't care if you're a man, female.
But wouldn't, listen, in an argument, doesn't the repetition of the same message suggest that you feel like you did not get through?
100%. But if you keep doing it, though, you are bitching.
I'm saying it, and you ain't hearing it. Now, just saying it goes to bitching it.
Well,
right?
Listen,
and you caused the bitching it because you don't want to listen to what I had to say.
But you're bitching because you ain't saying nothing different. Remember, it's the same repetitive thing. If I'm not listening, and you said it once, and you hear, well, you notice I'm not listening, I'm not hearing you, and you say it again because you're trying to get my attention.
Right.
And I continue to do whatever I'm doing.
Right.
If you keep doing it, at that point, you're bitching. because you ain't making nothing different than from the first time you said it. To me, you got to do a different approach.
Right.
Bitching is a problem because you continuously doing the same thing, getting endless same results. You're not listening. He ain't changed his
And
head
listen,
direction.
and
My thing is, stop that because
Yeah.
that ain't working, right?
Right.
So that's where the bitching, because you stop doing what you already see is not getting the result that you want.
Right.
Now I change it up.
Okay.
Because he's not listening at this point.
Okay, listen, and
His
change it up.
attention.
I think it's another great point. You're in the middle of an argument, disagreement. You cannot continue to say the same things in the same way. Now you're upsetting the environment because
Right.
even though the person may not have heard what you said, may not have felt what you said, may not have agreed with what you said, that you still owe them the opportunity to speak it and for them to hear it. You know. So I'm losing my train of thought here, but there's one thing I really want to say is to find another way to express your point.
Agree.
Find another way to express your point. Maybe, I have done this before, that in the midst of the disagreement, argument, as upset as I was, I grabbed a hand, we walked out to the front porch, changed the scenery, some fresh air, and sat there and say, listen, baby, I know exactly how you feel. I felt that way before. And what I found, now that's an old selling technique, right? It's called feel, felt, found. I know exactly, and it's important that you empathize with the person. See, they want to be heard. It's important that you say that you hear them. I hear what you're saying, baby. What you're saying to me is you feel frustrated. What you're saying to me is that you feel disappointed. And those things may hurt me to acknowledge. But if I begin to acknowledge and say the words to her that she's trying to convey to me, then she'll realize that I got it. I understand how you feel. I felt that way before. What I have found, baby, is that if you would just give me an opportunity to talk with you, just from love or whatever the words you use, you'll be able to continue on and open the dialogue. The key in an argument, everybody should be looking for a way to open and soften the dialogue. Everybody should be looking for a way to bring agreement, or at least to bring less disagreement. And there are going to be those discussions where what you stand on is what you stand on. And even though the person who you're talking to doesn't understand your principle, and they may not understand why you think the way you think, that you don't have to make them feel bad because they don't identify with your set of thinking. Right? You don't have to start throwing dirt. You don't have to start saying foul stuff like, you know what, you just don't get it. You can't say stuff like that in an argument because that is more disagreement. Right. That is more mashing on the other person. They're not good enough. They can't understand what you're saying. They're too dumb or stupid or whatever the case may be. So it's important that you just find a smooth, comfortable way to make the break and then deliver the message back with empathy. I know how you feel, baby. I would feel that way too if somebody did me that way. I give you your props. You get it. See, closure in any discussion, closure in the dialogue is about someone accepting what you said. And I might not agree, but it helps my relationship if I can find a way to just accept it. And then I'm gonna walk away. I'm sorry?
What if they don't possess that empathy?
Listen, empathy has got to be a practice thing. I'm glad you mentioned that because there are a lot of people who cannot take themselves and put them in the shoes of the person who's bitching at them. And sometimes in the midst of a disagreement or argument, that I'll be like, I wonder why she's saying what she's saying. Oh, she feeling like she's out there by herself. That this situation or this dialogue has made her feel like she's a bad person. Like I think she's a bad person. Whatever those thoughts may be, but if I don't take the time to identify with the emotion, what they say will never make a difference. Right. If I don't identify with the heart part of it, then what they say from their mouth and their mind won't make a difference, right? It's like having a huge disagreement with somebody, but I know that the person who's saying this has been with me through thick and thin. I know that this person who's saying this really, really cares about my well-being. They wouldn't be saying this to bring me down. They're saying this to help me out. So I need to listen from an empathetic perspective because they're trying to deliver a message that I might not like, but it's important for me to receive the love that they're trying to give. And it happens all the time. Young adults, when their parents are trying to coach them and develop them, young adults just don't want to hear the message. And their parents are telling them from 20 years, 30 years of experience, but they don't seem to want to receive the message. And so the parent will lose the child if they say, you just don't understand and you ain't never going to get it. You can't end the disagreement like that. You have to say, you know what, I'm always going to be here for you if you go through something. Yeah, I don't think you see it right now, but I'm hoping that you will one day. How you close a discussion gives each person an opportunity to really internalize what has been said. And I think that's the point that I really wanted to make here.
And I want to say one of the things, I totally agree with you. But one of the things I get, my perception would be, and when it comes to this arguing and things that we're going through, is sometimes you got to look like pastors, deacons, and also teachers and great leaders. You got to have more than one way to come at a person.
You got to have more than one way.
And a lot of times when you're talking to a person, you feel like they're not vibing with me. I have to learn how to change up.
Right.
You got to understand everybody interprets things differently.
Right.
So you get in your feelings. That's where you don't understand the other person.
That's where you don't. That's where you
A
stop
debater
understanding. That's right.
can say I'm looking at across the room.
Right.
I'm trying to debate you guys. I'm trying to make sure we have a dialogue that we all in tune with. And then I start seeing people stare back at me in a cross-eyed way.
Right.
They're not connected.
They're not connecting.
So my whole thing is I want to connect to the ones that's not connecting because I already got some other ones. I have to change up my approach and give it right back to grab that connection. Same thing with your woman. You can get disconnected at any point because she can feel strongly on her side. My whole thing is not to take away from what she's thinking or what she even saying. But okay, I didn't get it like that.
Yeah.
But this is how I got it, and I change it up.
Yeah.
At this point, she's not inflamed that I ain't listening, because obviously I am, because I'm giving it back.
Yeah, because you're giving it back.
But
right.
she's feeding off me because now I know you're listening.
Right.
And I know you got a different point of view of it.
Right. And the other
And I
half of
give you
that
respect.
is that she knows at that point you're in the
There
conversation.
you go.
with her.
I'm in it to win it because you're giving it back
Yeah,
to
you're
me.
in the you're
when
in
you
the
don't give it
conversation.
back to
You're
them-
listening. You're paying attention. You're trying to accept. She can see that you're trying to bite your lip. You know what I mean? She can see you
No,
trying.
she'll bite your lip.
Right, no. She can see that
Right
you're
off
trying
your
in that
face.
dialogue, and that is so special when that happens. That changes the whole dynamics of
She chew your
that
face off.
disagreement, right?
It can be very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Listen, it is time for us to take our final break. We're going to come back and wrap this show up.
Yeah.
This is awe-inspiring information, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as we are. We're going to close out the show Big Willie style, so hold on. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. Right?
We having a sidebar weekend. Rock coming in the building as well.
Yeah. Rock Diesel. What's happening, Rocky?
Tonight is a night of nights.
Yes.
Come on in.
They need a little specialness.
Yeah. Come on in, Rock Diesel. You trying to bring some specialness, bro?
Oh,
Yeah, I guess. Just a little.
this a little
Just a
something.
little.
A little something.
Yeah, speak up,
Oh,
man. Don't be
tell-
shy. Don't be shy.
Tell him the topic and see if he understands something.
Okay, so we're talking about tonight. A relationship with no arguments is a relationship with lots of secrets. Do you agree with that?
I tend to agree.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. And why is that?
Because you know a lot of
Because-
secrets.
Put like this. If I'm talking to you and I'm dealing with you, and I somehow kind of fall back, we believe it's somebody else that got my attention.
Mm.
So, you know, hey, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I just gotta blatantly put it out there. I mean, you gotta think about it. If we having a conversation,
Right,
we
right.
talking and we indulging, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our conversation go from sugar to shit.
Thank you.
I
'Cause
mean,
some people take
hey.
it that way.
Hey, look.
And listen, that is
Real stuff.
yeah, that's real talk. That's real talk. I used to think about it in this way: when you're engaged with someone in a relationship, and all of a sudden this person starts to be detached.
Mm-hmm.
They start to be, they
Acting
get
funny.
ghost sometime,
Acting crazy.
acting crazy. talking to you kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah, real
you can,
crazy.
You can clearly tell that they have changed.
Right. Behavior.
My notion is that
uncomfortable.
Right.
no, I would say that they have. You recognize that this person has changed. That they don't want to come talk to me no more. They don't want to go out.
Cut
You know,
hands.
they want to do something else.
This guy cut it.
Those are some of the signs. Those are some of the signs of cheating, right? But they also can be some signs of unhappiness.
Wait. How can you call it cheating if y'all ain't even got no title and y'all ain't together?
It's not. It's
They're
not.
just doing it.
Without no title, there's no cheating. Cheating is when you
Without no title, there's no cheating.
Right. When you're in a monogamous relationship, you work it.
Well, you didn't
You're
say
organized.
relationship. You
Right.
didn't say which one.
Right, that's what I'm saying. When you're in a monogamous relationship, that's when you start going in towards the cheating. But you are agreeing that it's just me and you, and at that point, if you do anything else, it is cheating.
Now,
If
now,
you are
listen.
dating and you're just dating, I would say there is no cheating because at this point you have not been locked down. It's not been defined. My whole thing is understand
That's a
where you
situationship.
stand. Because again, it got to be you.
Now, see, you
Choose. Oh Lord. Oh, we got ghosts.
got
What's up
ghosts.
with Jake? We out of here. Listen.
you know that's what you just said was some bullshit.
I don't play no ghosts. I'll do ghosts. Black man and ghosts. Oh, we out of here. So, no, Jake. Woo.
I'm losing my train of
We
thought.
moving tomorrow. Shit me. How's my pay for it?
I can't
They can
talk
have
about
it. The spirits can have it. Yeah, it ain't that type of party.
Listen,
I don't know what we disturbed.
something just happened back there.
I don't know
I
what we
believe that
disturbed.
was the Holy Spirit
And
responding
I'm
to your
leaving.
comments.
That's
And
why I'm
I
leaving.
believe the Holy Spirit would say that that is some real bullshit.
That's why I'm leaving.
If I'm spending it, and listen, if we don't go together, that I understand that. And we ain't had the conversation, I understand that. But you understand that we, you know what I'm saying, we growing course something tight. If you go out and screw on somebody yesterday, I'm like, okay, we ain't got to the commitment, but you done just convoluted the whole thing. Like you ain't ready for a commitment. So you gotta leave that stuff alone before the commitment come. Not once the after the commitment come. So it'd be some bullshit for you to be acting like we dating, and even though we ain't.
But if we
said
dating, bro, you ain't put. Look,
I mean, listen.
we're talking dating.
Okay, this is a point of contention as an argument, right?
Right.
There's still a certain level of commitment that you have for a person before you commit.
Totally commit. Correct.
And so if you picking me up, and let's say this is a woman, right? So the man's picking this woman up, he's taking her out, treating her special, like a beautiful lady, talking to her on the phone, half the night, and she can clearly see that. Just about all of his time is hers, and he's there. But she find out next week that he knocked down 2 freaks, 2 chicks, or 2 old friends, or 2 old girlfriends, or a girlfriend last week. How's she supposed to feel about that? She thinking like, yeah, hey, I thought we had something going on here, but you out, you out painting the town, and so but you ain't give me the opportunity to paint the town. I could have painted the town too.
She got her opportunity. He just got some more opportunities.
But a lot of y'all don't get paid to think, so don't think.
Oh. See, that's why I like her. Let's bring her to
Did we
the
just talk about sharp words during arguments?
Ain't that what she just gave you? Sharp words.
She was talking to you.
I know. She said cut deep.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what happens when you got kids like this. It's in my loins.
Right.
It's in the loins.
Right.
One of the things I'll tell you all day long, it cuts deep when that's how it is.
Yeah.
My whole thing is if you ain't gonna be honest and you ain't gonna speak up, then 9 times out of 10 you're gonna be left behind. I'm not gonna tell you you need to push on your pluralistic ways onto a person that's holding it down. Hold on to your morals. Bottom line is this: when I look at you, where you at, it's gonna be how you love yourself. If you keep your morals and everything in front of you, it doesn't matter about them. Hold yourself according to. I like to say a lot of times we don't hold ourselves according to anything. It's like, oh, because I love him. You put yourself into them and you lose yourself.
Right.
I don't never want nobody to lose themselves.
Right.
Love and happiness starts within.
Right.
Get that. And a lot of times I want a man, I want this. Really, you got to make sure you're mended from all what we go through.
Right.
We all go through our own trials and tribulations.
Right.
how we come out of it is what he has for us.
How we come out of it
So
is
we
what makes a
got to
difference.
make it through it
And
though.
listen.
We are stopping. It's not for us to stop. It's for us to keep going.
Yeah.
It's our work ethics. It's our drive. But we're saying,
And-
I'm hurt. Why am I going through this? Woe is me. Why would God put me through this? God is saying,
And
because I gave you the strength to get through it. You can't quit. You're just in the midst of the storm and you like, wait a minute. Do I quit now? There is no quitting.
Right. And listen, let's talk about that in terms of arguments, right? Let's make it relative. That one of my pet peeves is people who quit in the middle of an argument. That is one of the worst things that you can do if you've been the whole shutdown thing and the whole turn your back, I don't want to talk about it. Now there's a difference in communicating that, you know what, I'm reaching a pressure point, I just need a few minutes of space, I ain't trying to deny you, but I'm going outside for about 15 minutes, right? But you can say it in a way that you can make the connection break smooth. But those people who just shut down, you gotta know that everything that you have worked for in that discussion dies at that point.
It can.
It does.
But you gotta remember though,
because
if it's starting to be disrespectful,
but listen,
at some point you have to cut it.
But you cannot just quit. My point is,
I got you.
But
I don't want you to ever think about just quitting because different circumstances is different means. Like to me, is when you constructively doing it, I understand that. But when somebody's bringing so much disrespect to you, and
Now,
give
if that
that to
is
the
the
way,
case.
I have
Yeah,
to
if that
cut
is
it
the case.
because it's
That's-
not going to lead anywhere.
That's bad argument. And
Right.
Listen, once
And
I
you gotta
recognize
know when to let that
we're
go.
in the midst of bad argument, I let go.
Right. And I don't want
You gotta
nobody to
do
feel
that.
like
Yeah.
you never. Sometimes there's circumstances is not leading where you want.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
against my
And-
morals,
and
my
that's-
belief. I have to let go.
Yeah, because other people might not be willing to stop
Right.
talking or change their mind or
And
whatever
it's
the
gonna
case
be
may
like,
be.
yo, I'm gonna be up all damn night.
Where you gonna get good?
Yeah. So, but listen, my point is that quitting in the discussion is almost like quitting on a relationship.
Oh.
It's kind of equal to one another. That if you quit talking about it, you be like, whatever, man, I don't even talk about this more. All right, I'm out, whatever. And what you just did, you left that person to decide for themselves what you think.
I remember that.
And they're going to start saying, well, you know what? He don't really care. She don't really care about the relationship. She don't understand me. He don't really want to be around. Oh, he been out late. Next thing you know, the mind is just unraveling all these things that they seen or that you did or whatever. That's all that they can depend on, is what they know. If you just walk away from the dialogue, you cannot quit in the midst of an argument. And I think that's the prevalent point to make. It's got to be followed through with closure and with some levels of agreement and some levels of understanding. You should always seek to have an argument knowing that you want to get some love in that night. Right? And if you do that, that means you always going to be protecting your words. You always going to be making sure you comfort the other person's heart. That's what love is about.
What kind of arguments is you? You sound like you trying to have makeup sex and stuff.
I'm not trying to do that. Listen, you got to say things to a person like you're in a courtroom. Now you go in that courtroom popping off at the mouth anyway, whatsoever. You gonna get your ass taken downtown, down in the back by the bailiff.
Some people like that. Your one friend said he do. You want to put a chokehold on him? He like that.
I have no idea.
Right? So you should be talking to the person like you want to leave the courtroom. Like you want to leave the courtroom and not have the judge put a warrant out for you.
Under your own free
That's
will.
the point I want to make. We're talking about arguments, and arguments are natural. They're normal. We're going to have disagreements. We're going to have disagreements, and hopefully from those disagreements we can debate. We can have a good argument. If we know it's a bad argument, let's fly away, push it away. You got to stop the presses right then. This is a development show. We're just trying to give people a way to understand how to deal with so much disagreement in their lives.
Why are you asking for whipped cream and stuff at the end?
Well, I might need to make a run to Walgreens.
Y'all talking about whipped cream.
Right? Because it's gonna have
Sprinkles
to.
on top.
Yeah,
Sprinkles on top.
we're gonna have to do some makeup. You know what I'm saying?
Sprinkle me back.
We talked about aggressive love last week.
We
The
did.
best aggressive love is the one right after the argument.
Just chocolate.
Right? Sometimes, you know what? Here's another point, man. Sometimes a touch
It means so much.
There you go.
Right?
That's why Rock said, toe.
Listen,
You
how
grab
about
with both hands. Toe.
this?
Like a chicken.
You don't agree.
Hold on tight.
You've been arguing, you've been trying to get your point across, and you start to realize that, hey, this is just going south, or we're not getting through to one another, whatever. It's okay to approach your significant other and just put your arms around them.
Ooh.
And when you do that, you can say words like, you know what? We're going to get through this.
So you need a hug.
You know what?
Basically.
Listen, if you're arguing for
So
longer
you
than
don't get whipped cream, you want a hug.
that might be whipped
Okay,
cream.
so you
Might be the whipped cream, might be the jump start the night. Right? Listen, I love the fact that we're talking about having major disagreements with somebody who you love and somebody who's supposed to be in your corner, or maybe it's not so, but having a disagreement and then finding a way to get back to togetherness. Those discussions don't happen in the world. Those discussions are not, we don't see enough of them. You know, we see the disagreements that happen on Love and Hip Hop, but we don't see them make up behind stage. And we don't see them saying, you know what, my bad, I ain't gonna do that again.
Or how can it apply to my life?
Yeah.
How can I look at me differently?
Yeah.
And one of the things I want us to do right now is make sure we understand this is not for the negative. A lot of times drama can be negative. My whole thing is to be the most positive
I
person.
just want to say, because you know, when I seen Love and Hip Hop, you know, she was arguing with Stevie, and then she came out with that sex tape. So, wow.
Okay, well, now we going back to okay.
Yeah. There is a makeup.
We in videos we see some
Somebody else make that.
Makeup, it could be a good thing, and obviously it could be a bad thing.
Well, makeup is always a good thing.
It could be up to you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't have to make up at all.
I'd say
You gotta understand the decision making and the whole conversation can go different ways. And when you're being honest, you don't really control everything. And that's one of the reasons why people are lying to you and why we're following lies today.
Yeah. And let's just cover this for just a moment. We got about 2 minutes before we close out the show, 2-3 minutes. Sometimes in the middle of those major disagreements, those arguments that we're having, maybe some of those heated debates we're having, we have a recognition. Something says to us, I'm never going to get through to this person.
Yep.
They're never going to see it my way. They're never going to understand me. They're never going to do what I want them to do. I need to acknowledge how I feel in the midst of those dialogues. Because what's going to happen is once you recognize that you are there and you continue living like you're not there, you're destroying yourself from the inside out.
Yep, and that's when you're supposed to walk away.
And you're continuing to fight with things that you already have made a clear decision upon. Sometimes you just had enough. And this show is about developing self. That means honoring your own interests, your own thoughts, honoring yourself in those moments where you say, you know what, I have had enough. And when you make those statements to yourself, it's important to follow through. Because if you don't follow through, I promise you, every time you go back to the old behavior, you're going to be destroying yourself. It's going to keep inner turmoil. You ever did something for somebody and you felt bitter about it? Right? Mm-hmm. You're going to be doing loving things for a person who you already know ain't got your back, who you already know ain't trying to be on your team, who you already know has rejected you in more ways than one, and you start beating yourself up. That's where you start to lose your sense of self, your self-esteem, your self-preservation. Do not get into a place where you lose your sense of self because you won't do or you won't say what you know needs to be done or you know needs to be said.
Now, I would say
that's
that
a
right
powerful
there
point in this discussion like that.
Profound. Only thing I can add to it is, again, when you understand the person and you dealing, and again, this whole talk is difficult.
Yes.
You don't want to have it.
You don't want to have it, yeah.
But you don't want to say things that's going to hurt a person.
Right.
But if you don't really speak your mind and you don't really tell the truth, you're not giving them a true chance to figure out where they really want to be with when it comes to you.
Yeah.
My whole thing is when you speak out, because I've been with people that told me straight up, I ain't hearing this, and they left me alone.
Yeah.
Now you'll say, well, dang, they just dumped you, but they had their own morals, their own belief, They ain't gave up on me.
Right.
It just, I didn't fit their belief. My whole thing is it made me think stronger of them.
Yeah.
Whoever you deal with in life, if they're not strong enough to walk away from you, then I'm like to say they're gonna fall victim of you.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to be a victim.
That's
I
powerful.
feel like everything should be a powerfully,
Yeah.
spiritually led to empowering up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to say when you see everything in a person, they should see some things in you as well. If that makes that balance, that's why you give your whole life to a person and then you find out you've been betrayed. You know, it's like the lies that other people have been telling us and you've been following, then you wonder, why am I continuing? It's up to you. Wake up and realize what you got is what you have.
Yeah, and think
Make
about
the best
this. How many
decision with it.
people are in relationships, maybe long-term relationships, because they were sucked in by their unwillingness to speak up for themselves or their unwillingness to say no, and they just kind of start buying into the other person's BS or whatever, and next thing you know, it's years later. And, and they're bitter with themselves, and you know it's just it's a bad it's one of those things
What you got, Rock?
just doesn't work.
Rock want to jump in.
So basically, you telling me that this person is a sucker?
They're a sucker, but it's because of a lack of confidence, self-confidence
That you know about
Yeah.
through conversation.
Right.
So remember, it's easy to bring that out when you talk to people.
Yeah.
So again, to manipulate somebody is easy when you're a person that knows how to talk to people.
There you go.
My whole thing is you don't have to manipulate anyone.
Right.
I can encourage you and I can raise you up, just like I can take from you.
Right.
That is the power that people have. Just like I say, if anybody that can sell something, that person is the most powerful person on this planet. But can we sell right or you gonna sell wrong? It's up to you.
There
Bottom
you
line,
go. There
selling
you go.
wrong is what's in.
Listen.
My whole thing is let's just sell what's right, because when I do
like
the show,
that.
I deal with something
I
other
like
than what
that.
you can pay for.
So watch
I'm
this.
willing to pay for what you don't even understand what you need.
Watch this.
So when you do it the right way,
Mhm.
it's like Nipsey. It's gonna come back
It's
to
gonna
you
come back.
in ways
That
that you.
hustle.
I promise you,
Here's
the
a-
hustle stays on
here's
when
a-
you're a true hustler.
Here's a spiritual
Y'all just
antidote.
play like
right?
you're hustling.
Right.
Keep playing.
Listen, here's a spiritual antidote, and we got to close here after this, because that's a powerful point, Jay. A powerful point is that when you don't tell the truth about a situation, see, we're all building mountains. We're trying to build a stable mountain relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't tell the truth, you just stack the deck. You just stack the mountain with an ice block, right? And as soon as the heat get turned up, it's going to melt, and it's going to make the foundation unstable. Because you didn't tell the truth years ago when you felt a certain way and you wanted a certain thing. You kept coming at me with lackadaisical BS because you didn't want to stand up in a relationship and say what you wanted and do what you wanted and be who you wanted. Now all of a sudden we got all these, we got melted ice in the middle of our foundation because you didn't tell these truths. So not telling the truth can hurt you long term. Not speaking up your mind can hurt your relationship long term. You don't want your foundation to be full of icy water. You want your foundation to be full of real rock and real truth. And even though it hurts to say it or to dialogue about it, the hurt and the struggle and the pain and the strife that you'll go through to gain agreement, or at least to gain some form of understanding, will be a solid rock foundation in your relationship. It takes the struggle in order to build the foundation.
Thanks.
And so it is time for us to go.
It is.
But man, I think we really rocked this show, and I hope you folks feel so as well. We hope all of you come back to visit with us next week. We're here every single Thursday from 7 to 9, Facebook Live. And we only want to inspire through a meaningful dialogue. I'm hoping you got something great out of it. We're hoping you had a good time with us. And continue to share us, like us, subscribe. Share us, like us, subscribe.
Over and over again.
Yeah, over and over. This show is about you. It's about you. And we love you and thank you for being here. So with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.